Stop what you're doing. Seriously, don't touch that code just yet, because if you're running data pipelines, there's a really high chance you're sitting on a ticking time bomb right now. Welcome to this explainer. We're going to skip the long intros today and jump right into one of the most frustrating, literal pipeline-destroying issues in data engineering, this Spark memory crash.
So why did your Spark cluster just crash? Has this happened to you? You know the drill. You're running a massive job, everything seems totally fine, and then suddenly, bam! Out of memory error. Did a single line of code just take down your entire data processing pipeline? If you're nodding your head right now, trust me, you're definitely not alone. This happens to developers all the time. And the crazy part? The culprit is almost always hiding right there in plain sight.
Okay, let's dive into this. The root cause is almost always the exact same thing: memory overload on the driver node. You see, Apache Spark is beautifully designed to distribute work across tons of worker nodes. But when you accidentally force terabytes of distributed data back into the single, highly limited memory of your driver node, the whole system chokes and crashes. And hey, stick around, because in just a few minutes, I'm going to reveal a very specific, totally hidden trap involving pandas that causes this exact overload. It's a trap that catches even senior engineers completely off guard.
Section 1. Understanding the show method, the safe, debugging-friendly alternative for your data.
Let's look at the formal definition. Using the syntax df.show, often passing a number like 5 or 10 right into those parentheses, displays the content of a data frame in a tabular format right there on your console. Now, the absolute most important thing to remember here is that it's primarily meant for debugging, and for viewing a strictly limited number of rows. It's a quick peek. It is not a massive data transfer.
Let's rapidly break down what makes it tick. First, it gives you a highly readable tabular format, which is obviously great for human eyes. Second, and honestly, this is absolutely vital, it returns no Python object. It literally returns a none type in Python. It just prints the output for you to look at. Third, because it's only fetching a tiny sample, it leaves your heavy data out on the distributed worker nodes, which keeps your driver perfectly safe. And finally, it defaults to truncating long strings, so your console doesn't just become this unreadable mess. In short, the show method has an incredibly low memory footprint. It is your cluster's absolute best friend.
Section 2. Understanding the collect method, or, as I like to call it, the dangerous option.
Read this definition really carefully. The syntax df.collect retrieves all rows of a data frame and brings them to the driver as a list of row objects. You might then select one with an index, like df.collect {0). I really want to put heavy dramatic emphasis on those two words, all rows. If you're working with a massive dataset, using collect is literally like trying to channel the water of the entire Hoover Dam into a single teacup. The teacup is going to shatter.
And this brilliantly illustrates the exact memory implications we're dealing with. The show method leaves the data safely distributed and only pulls exactly what it needs to display a little sample. But collect forces all of that distributed data into the driver's limited memory. It's the ultimate bottleneck. Think about it. It completely defeats the whole purpose of distributed computing if you just pull it all back to one single place anyway.
Section 3. The head-to-head matchup. Let's compare these two methods directly side by side.
Now, what's really interesting here is how radically different they actually are. Output type: show prints to the console, while collect returns a list of row objects. Memory usage: show is extremely low, whereas collect is dangerously high. Use case: show is for quick inspection, collect is for local Python processing. But the absolutely crucial difference is what they actually return to your code. Show returns none. You can't assign it to a variable and manipulate it. Collect, though, returns a list of rows. It hands you the actual data object, which is exactly why it gobbles up so much memory.
Section 4. When to choose which. Let's build out your practical playbook.
Okay, here's your playbook for the show method. Use it when you need to view sample data just to get a feel for what you're working with. Use it when you're debugging transformations, like, say, checking if that fancy new column you just calculated actually looks right. And use it for checking your data structure quickly. In all of these scenarios, show is absolutely the best choice for safe, rapid inspection without affecting your memory performance whatsoever. And here's the playbook for collect. Now, it's not evil, it just has very specific, very valid use cases. You use collect when you absolutely must perform operations on data locally in standard Python. You use it when you're working with small datasets, and I mean datasets you are 100% certain will comfortably fit right into memory. And finally, you use it when you're converting a Spark data frame into a pandas data frame. But wait, Converting to pandas? Ah, that brings us to that hidden trap I warned you about at the very beginning of this explainer.
So the crucial point is understanding exactly how this trap gets triggered. Step 1, you call the syntax df.toPandas because, well, you want to use your favorite pandas functions. Step 2, Spark, completely behind the scenes, internally calls collect. Yeah, you didn't actually write the word collect, but Spark is running it anyway. Step 3, all that data leaves the worker nodes and slams into the driver. Step 4, memory overload and a totally crashed cluster. This is the silent killer of Spark jobs, guys. If your data set is huge, calling to pandas is just a guaranteed crash.
Section 5, the final payoff. Let's move ahead and see how this all builds to our ultimate takeaway. Here it is. This is the golden rule of Apache Spark memory management. Read it, internalize it, maybe print it out and stick it to your monitor. Use collect only when you truly need all data in Python for local processing, and ensure the dataset is small enough to fit into memory. If you don't need all the data, or if you aren't absolutely 100% sure of its size, just don't use it. Play it safe and stick to show. Which leaves us with one final, maybe slightly uncomfortable question to end on. Take a hard look at your own code bases. Think about the scripts you ran today. Are you still using collect when a simple, lightweight show would do the exact same job without the massive risk? It might be time to audit those pipelines, swap out those dangerous methods, and keep your clusters running smoothly.